Welcome back to. All right, I'm here to talk about Cameron Smotherman stepping up on very short notice, replacing Brady Heastand, and he's going to fight Jake Hadley. Huge credit to Cameron. That takes a lot of balls. Jake Hadley is not an easy debut for anybody, even on a full camp. And Brady Heastand, I hope he's all right. I don't know what happened with him. But look, this guy Cameron's a good fighter, but I've got him losing this fight. I think Jake Hadley wins, and I'll go with him winning by TKO in round two, let's say. I don't know. Even though Cameron Smotherman's two knockout losses are both within a minute, and the last of which came last year on the Contender Series against Charalampos Gregorio. But even though those are his two losses, and even though Jake can come out of the gate pretty hot, I still got Jake sort of figuring him out, slowing him down, and getting a finish a little bit later. Maybe the end of round one. I don't know. But look, Jake, I think that's the thing. He's a tough debut for anybody because he's very durable and he's very versatile. So if you take a fight on short notice, there's no real path to victory where you can put your foot on the gas and go in one direction and say, this is the way to go. I actually think the best way to beat Jake Hadley here in this matchup for Cameron Smotherman is sort of getting on top of him for 3 rounds, and doing a 15-minute grind, finding, top position for the majority of 15 minutes. And I think that's going to be a really tough thing to do. Jake was coming in here ready to fight round 3 warrior Brady Heastand, round 3 grappling warrior Brady Heastand, and I think he's going to be ready. And look, on the feet, I think Jake's going to be too much for Cameron Smotherman, a guy that I know can be finished. And Jake, even though he's only got 3 finishes in his career, I think he's an excellent striker. Excellent. And I think he's got a lot of ways to win. Whether it's the body shot, the head kick. We saw him put away Malcolm Gordon. He got another nice finish in one of his TKOs. And, his hands, I think they're going to come alive here, especially if Cameron does slow down. And they're going to be too much, even if that's punches going through the chin of Smotherman. And of course, again, that can happen in 13 seconds. Jay can be a fast starter, and that's how Cameron Smotherman's been finished twice. But still, I think Cameron Smotherman is going to come in decent shape. He's a guy who I'm sure knew the UFC was going to come a knocking, or it was possible anyway. He's had a lot of momentum since that last loss. That was a year ago, and I believe he's 3-0 since then. And there are 3 grinding fights, 2 round 3 finishes, which I love. One of them a big comeback over Mando Gutierrez, who he got out of there with a flying knee. I thought he was kind of taking over the fight anyway, but it was 10-8 to make it a draw or find a finish. And he found a finish in a big way. So he's got a lot of great traits that I love in fighters with these round 3 finishes and the comebacks and whatever. But at the same time, he's had these close fights I've seen where he's let guys into fights, and some of them over good fighters, some not so good fighters. But I just think Jake Hadley's going to be too much for him. Too much for him anywhere. Where even if he does find an advantageous position, Jake's going to be the one threatening. And of course, I think Jake will be the one pressuring him and slowing him down and eventually TKOing him. That is my prediction. I did bet on Jake Hadley to win by knockout. I got him at plus 200. I think even though I'm predicting he wins by round 2 knockout flat is much easier to trust. That's right. I don't trust my own predictions. But I also wasted some money on Cameron Smotherman winning by decision at plus 1,000. Just a few pennies, but I think that's his only path to victory. And I also bet on the under for this fight, which is set at 2.5 rounds, because I consider that, of course, a bet on my prediction, the knockout, but it also covers those scarier submission skills of Jake Hadley. And I think if he does get Cameron Smotherman tired, if that is a thing here, he's got many ways to put him away. And I think the under should cover that, of course, unless he wins in the final 6th of the fight, in which case I'm a jerk off. But you knew that already anyway. So, whatever. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos where I also pretend to have enthusiasm.